One. Hey guys, James here, TCGU University, coming back at you with another deck profile from our Campus Championship Series. This week we're doing the new characters from Libra Souls, and I was playing Amy. I want to make sure you can see it on the camera. Playing Amy. She is my favorite character from the set, as well as one of my most hyped characters I'm looking forward to. So far, my playtesting has been very fun with her. This is like one of the fourth different builds I've had with her. I really wanted to play her because she's a life character that actually gains life and doesn't feel lame like the way Ivy does. I really like Ivy, but I just feel like sometimes it's just really lame. So we're gonna get into this Amy deck. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. But let's get into it. Okay, guys, Amy is a 627 with Life Order Void. We're playing our deck under Order today. Like I said, she's one of my favorite characters. I'm gonna be trying to remember all three of her symbols, but we'll see how it goes. She has three abilities. E, if you have two or more characters in your staging area, you may change the zone of your attack to any other zone. And if you have four or more characters as another Nance, you can change the attack of any zone. Change the zone of any attack. So you can change the zones twice once you have her four characters, and on your turn and twice on your opponents. Twice on yours, once on your opponents. And then E, twice per turn, gain 1 vitality. If gain 1 vitality, your next attack gets -X difficulty and +X damage. X equals the number of characters in your staging area. This ability always triggers when you go to play the card. So I'm playing a bunch of gauge attacks. So if I gauge characters in and I play another attack, it counts the character that I just put in as well. So she is a character stacker. So we are playing 3 more characters. Shout outs to any of the boys and the girls who can get me 2 more of these foil Amy's. I would love it, guys. If you have one and are looking to get rid of it or want to help a brother out, hit me up. But let's get into it. I'm gonna leave Amy all the way up here to where you can see her just barely. Yes. There we go. Okay. So I'm playing 14 actions. We are playing 4 Punch and Judy each. Punch and Judy says, play a punch, give 3 damage, pick up a Judy. Judy says, give 3 speed, pick up a punch, and they rotate each other out. It's really good. We're playing 4 Demon Realm Awakening. This says, give +X or -X damage equal to the number of keywords on a card, and then draw a card. As well as, if you block with this card, you can remove it to draw a card as well. So super strong. And then, because we're playing Character Stacker, we're playing 2 Here We Go. I'm just moving the Amy right here. We're playing 2 Here We Go. This says we can add a character from our discard pile to our staging area or our hand, which is just super strong for what we do. Then I'm playing 3 actions. 1 Albion. I'm playing her assets. Sorry, playing 3 assets. We're playing 1 of hers. E, commit. Your attack gains gauge 3. If you have 2 or more characters in your staging area, your attack gets -2 difficulty and +2 damage. So it's like another copy of her bottom E. And then E, commit. Add up to 1 character from your staging area to your hand. Change the zone of this attack. It says up to, which means you can choose 0. So you can still just change the zone of an attack. So that's really nice, in my opinion. As far as I know, that's how it works. But you get to just change the zone of attack. If not, pick up a character is still not terrible. But you can also use it with just 1 character on board and not have to pick up because you can't pick up your other character. It's really good. 1 Flambert. Like I said, we change zones up to like twice on our turn. So getting to use all 3 abilities to gain speed, it being this high, this mid, or this low, each separate, get +1 speed or -1 speed is just very strong. Especially when we can give -2 speed because we can change our opponent's attack zones as well. And then 1 Omega Sword and Elk Shield. This just says when we block, we take only 1, as well as just commit a card to make sure, flip a card to make sure our opponent commits cards in their staging area, which is very good, and we'll get to why soon. Now onto the attacks. We're playing 2 Ashen Claws. We get to freeze committed foundations in our opponent's staging area, as well as get to pick up other gauge attacks if our opponent goes to deadlock. It's a 3 high for 4 with gauge 4. Super strong, super good. We're playing 2 Crusader's Oath. We can discard 1 card to give this attack stun 2 and -2 to its gauge rating, making it a gauge 3. It has EX2, so we can use momentum for something. And then it's a 4 mid for 5. So it's really strong, commits our opponent's stuff. The reason we like committing our opponent's stuff is because of this Dust for Dust. I really like this card. This card's very good. It's a 4 mid for 5. This has gauge 5. No block, but who cares? It's a 6 diff. Who cares? It has a static of if you have at least 2 characters in your staging area, which is very easy to do with my deck right now. you can it ignores progressive difficulty, so you just play it at the end of the chain for free. As long as you can pass a 6, you're fine. And then search your deck for 1 gauge attack and add it to your hand. Your opponent may commit and freeze a foundation to cancel. So if you commit your opponent's entire staging area, or say they block a bunch of things and commit out their entire staging area, you get to play this and add all of these for free. And if you haven't used Amy, you can just make sure you confirm checks on all of these, and it's just super, super good. There's a match where I do it versus Tam and pick up the cool card I'll show you at the end. It's super, super cool. It's super, super good. To help with the committing thing, we're playing 2 Lightning Shot. Lightning Shot is gauge 3. It's a 4 mid for 4. Our card pool, after your opponent raise 1 or more foundations due to their effect, I get to flip one of them. So if we stun them out and they play Sense of Morals, I flip their stuff. It's really good. And then E, if this attack gains stun X equals the number of characters in your staging area, maximum of 3. So at max, it gets stun 3, which is still very good to stun out our opponent's board. The best card in the deck, and should probably be a 4 of, I don't know why it's not, probably to make cuts and make sure we have room for all the different things, is Lightning Torture. It's a gauge 4, 2 mid for 4, throw. If you have 2 or more characters either in your staging area or your discard pile, say you checked 1, you get to give this attack 3 damage, making it on a half block off 4 damage dealt, meaning you're going to get your gauge off, which is super, super strong, and is just super, super good. Then the reason why picking things up is really cool, and why we play a bunch of assets that replace themselves and a bunch of cards, and we're going to get to it, but a bunch of cheap foundations with 6 checks, is for Prism Storm of Torment. 7 high for 7 with a 1 low block, ally, deadlock, stun 7, gauge 7, ranged. If this attack is the 7th card you attempt to play this turn, it passes and gets plus 7 speed on no check necessary, which is super, super strong. So we play 6 other cards, being a 6-hander, and if we have this as our 7th card, just play it for free, and it automatically passes. It's just super strong. As well as having the ability to E add all characters in your discard pile with the same name as your starting character to your staging area is super nuts. So like we play a 0 diff that mills characters into our discard pile, and so if we have enough built, we just play this without the 7 diff as just the normal 7 diff, commit our 2 foundations, commit our 4 or whatever. Just having the ability to add all 3 of our characters or add any of our characters to our staging area just lets us get closer to going off. And being a 7 high for 7 just as well is nuts, and being a gauge 7 gets us another character is super good. Then one of the best attacks in the deck for the reason how Prism Storm works is Rouge Signet. It's a 2 mid for 2, gauge 1, F card, form card pool, play this attack. Play this attack, flip this attack after it resolves. Only playable if you have 2 or more characters in your staging area. So once we get our 2nd character out, it's very easy to get Prism Storm of Torment to trigger this. So this counts as 1. You play it again, it counts as 2, then it flips and goes away. It's also really easy to try and play this, bait our opponent into wasting a card to block this because you know they want to. Play the throw, give it damage if you can, or play something else. Gauge your 1 character in, and then play this anyways and form it back over to play a 3rd card. Like, it just, being able to gauge at any point, it lets us this go off at any point as well. It's super good. And then the last attack we're playing is Storm of Torment. E, discard momentum, search your deck for a character with the same name and add it to your staging area. Super good. Lets us get characters out of our deck as well as start ramping our Amy's. And then E, if there are 2 or more characters in your staging area, you can ditch this card from your card pool after it resolves, meaning our progressive stays low, as well as it can make our opponent miscount on how many cards we play, making playing the 7th one a little easier and making sure they don't try to mess with us. Like I said, we're playing a card that ditches characters from our deck. That would be Bearer of the Mackay Whistle. It is E, remove 1 card from your opponent's add 1 card from your opponent's removed from game pile on top of their deck. I use this during the thing to put a phase cover fire back on top of their deck. Not phase cover fire, getaway fire back on top of their deck to make sure they checked a 2 to make sure they had to commit out, which is very good. I think they still won that match, but I still tried to do it for what it was needed. And then E, flip. Your attack gets -2 to its gauge rating. You may search your deck for 1 character card and add it to your discard pile. Super good. We lower the gauge rating. For something on like the throw, this is really good. Make it -2, then you're for sure going to get your Amy out, even if they like partial block and you couldn't give the 3 damage. It's just really good. As well as just making sure you know where your characters are at all times. We're playing 3 Winter Rose. It can't be flipped a card, so we're safe. It's a 0/6 with a 2 low block, which is very, very good. I would rather play this over Syndicate Target just because as an ability, it can't be flipped by our opponent. And then every time our opponent flips one of our foundations, we get to gain life, meaning hopefully we can deter them from wanting to flip because we gain life. But, oh well, the 6 check is what I really care about. We're playing 4 Manifestation. Same thing, it's a 1/6, 2 low block. It says if we're stunned, we basically stun our opponent. And then if we commit this for a cost on our character or just cost in general, our opponent commits 1 as well. I don't think we have many of those, so it doesn't matter. We're playing 4 Never a Day Without Training. E, flip if you have 1 or more assets, draw a card. So just +1 to our hand size, which works really well when we were trying to play 7 cards to get, or 6 cards to try and get to our Prism Storm Tournament. That one's really to get to the 7 drop. And then E, flip, discard 1 card, draw 1 card. Works really well if we're trying to get rid of Foundation to try and draw either another attack or like a Punch and Judy so we can get to 7. As well as just having a 2 low block. It's nuts. 1 Bebop Blues, turn off things like Bang and whatnot. 1 Delta Blue Team Leader. This gives plus damage for each high, mid, and low, 1 at a time. So we can give +1 for damage, change the zone, +1 damage, change the zone, +1 damage after we get all 4 characters out. And it just means we're giving +3 damage to something. And just getting +2 is really good too. 1 Nightmare Terrors because we do need to be able to block for free sometimes. As well as if I do have to build it, it commits and freezes one of my opponent's foundations, meaning Dust for Dust has a higher chance of going off. 3 Passing the Torch. This is a card that says if we have no cards in our hand, we draw 2. As well as it says just draw 1. It's a 2-drop that just with a 3 mid block that just says we can increase our hand size defensively and offensively. Then we're playing 4 the Prism of 7. This card basically for me says your charge or gauge attack gets +1. So all of our attacks give a free +1 speed off of this. The other ability we almost never use. 2 Radical Edward. It lets us commit foundations with keywords on them or assets, which will be very important in next format. As well as when I check this, I can add a character from my discard pile to my hand, giving me a 0 mid block to block with. Then we're playing 2 God of Thunder. It's a really cool card. Lets us ready foundations. Lets us continue to go off. It's very good if we ever like check bad during a turn, or just for like Dust for Dust plays when we don't have the extra stuff from Amy. And then 1 Tijuana for the same reason. The best check you can make for a that's not a 6 for our Dust for Dust is a 5, which means you commit 1, which means you just commit Tijuana. You remove foundations, right? Tijuana, play another Dust for Dust if you're able to. It just means we have more options to go off. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCGU University. Throw us whatever you can out there. You get all of our content mostly early. We get some of our content mostly early. And then don't worry, guys, if you can't, just like, comment, share, subscribe. That really helps us out. And all of our content will be out a week later on YouTube. I really enjoyed my Amy deck. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm looking forward to playing this character. She's my favorite character from this set, and I'm going to put a lot of work in her. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take her to the next event. But let me know what you guys think. And as always, guys, stay learned.